I'm Danny, that witch next door, and you're listening to That Witch Podcast. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to That Witch Podcast. I'm Danny, I'm that witch next door, and I'm going to be your host, your guide, your mentor, and instructor in all things magic, witchcraft, astrology, and witchy business. And today, I'm very excited to welcome you to another fresh solar season pep talk. This one is brought to you by Gemini Energy. Let's dive in, shall we? So Gemini season began on what? 20th of May? 20th of May. And will be transitioning into Cancer on June 21st, which is the summer solstice. Okay. So Gemini is our final sign of spring energy, of the spring season. And when it comes to this energy, I was pretty excited to do this pep talk because Gemini is by far one of the most hated on zodiac signs of the entire wheel, to be perfectly honest. And most people that argue with that are the people that talk shit about Geminis the most, or Gemini energy the most. But when it comes to the Mercury-ruled Gemini, I find that this is the energy where we give ourselves permission to give a shit about our mind. And more importantly, or more specifically, I should say, our mental health. I really do believe that we can access and work with and help nurture and heal our mental health and our mental capacities through our Gemini energy in our chart. And don't get me wrong, you can definitely do this by working with Mercury directly. But there is something about Gemini. That's a good way to put it. There's something about Gemini, and it's that twins. It's that speaking and that listening. It's the exerting and the receiving and processing of information between two different sources. Those two sources could be two people, or it could be a person with a book, computer, an article, a song, literally anything that you consume in your environment, and the way you interact with it, there's Gemini vibrations there. And this sign is, I think, particularly hated on the most for a couple of its biggest strengths, actually, which is Gemini's ability to speak very openly and matter-of-factly about anything and everything, including things that really freak a lot of people out or scare people to talk about. And Gemini's kind of able to emotionally detach and just do that and give space for talking about anything that needs to be talked about. The other thing is Gemini's adaptability. And this is where the stereotype of, kind of becoming a chameleon comes from for Gemini. I find that this happens because of how fast and efficiently Gemini learns anything and everything in its environment. It's almost immediately able to replicate anything. And I think that if we really sit with that, That's pretty damn cool superpower. You have the ability to process and retain information at rates so much higher than you have ever been led to believe about yourself. And this sign is where an immense amount of resourcefulness comes from. Truly. So this Gemini season, I want you to open your mind with intention. And what I mean is, I want Gemini energy to give you permission to give a fuck about the health and overall well-being of your mind. Don't constantly numb yourself out by just constantly mindlessly consuming information that either literally doesn't matter to you or is damaging you in some way. I want you to think about your scroll, where you're scrolling. And I want you to think about how that scroll leaves you feeling at the end of it. It could be a couple hours on Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your scroll is for you. I want you to think about how it makes you feel afterward. Because our main place that we scroll is the main hub we're getting the majority of our information from. It's the main place for us to absorb our environment. And we don't realize that so many of us are literally seeing our world through the eyes of the social media platform that we're on. And I'm not saying that this is automatically a bad thing by any means. I'm saying that the mindlessness behind it is damaging. The mindlessness behind anything becomes very damaging. So I want you to challenge yourself this Gemini season with the information that you're consuming and the information that you're putting out. I want you to really take a step back. Take a nice third-party perspective to your words, to your entire relationship with communication. Don't just reflect back on conversations through your eyes. And don't just reflect back on conversations through the other person's eyes either. A lot of us stay awake for hours at night doing that. Oh, that's not a Gemini thing. I mean a neutral third-party positioning perspective. What is your relationship with communication? What value are you putting out there into the universe, into your experience with the way you speak and the way you listen? I want you to give yourself permission to give a shit about this stuff, because this is all communication and mental health, the health of our mind. These are two major areas that have just been cast aside, swept under the rug, stepped all over, downplayed, minimized. We are just now, for basically the first time in human history, as far as we know, actually advocating for giving a fuck about the health and well-being of our minds. God, you'd think we would have cared about that a lot sooner. And the way we fucking interact with each other in our environment. Those are like the two main things of our reality and existence. And they're the two main things that we are constantly numbed out to. Part of it's conditioning, and part of it is our own mindlessness. And we have to spark this shift for ourselves. No one else can really, truly do it for us. Listen, I go down celebrity gossip rabbit holes on the internet like every other normal person on Instagram. Okay? I'm not above mindless information consuming. Yes, I looked at all the pictures of the Kardashian Barker wedding. And listen, I don't even want to give you my opinion about it, so don't ask. Because it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter. And that's all I'm asking you to do, is to take a step back from that and give a shit about that and say, all right, that's fine. You know, I'm going to do the mindless thing sometimes. But I'm going to also make a point to be really mindful and give a fuck about the health of my brain, from my nervous system to just the thought patterns that I have to my emotional state, right? Like, I really think that we are super conditioned to just trash this huge part of our experience, which is our mind. And I hope that this Gemini season, you can dive into your chart, take a look at what house Gemini is in or rules for you. Do you have any planets or placements there? And maybe even go a step further, because this is so Gemini-like, but think about the Geminis in your life. And I encourage you once again to do this from that neutral, mindful, third-party position and not to go into those observations emotionally biased. And give Gemini the open-minded shot that it fucking deserves. This sign gives us wit and humor, resourcefulness, adaptability, insanely efficient, high-functioning learning capabilities for all of us. Just depends on where and how you best activate your Gemini qualities. It's in all of us. So, hope you feel inspired and curious, my neighbors. Thank you all so, so much for joining me here today. I love giving you these little solar season pep talks and really painting the strengths of these signs to help us break away from some of the unfortunate monotony of mainstream astrology. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend ahead. Enjoy the rest of Gemini season. Stay safe, have fun, and stay magical out there. Hello, my neighbor. I'm stopping in with just a really quick announcement at the end of our episode today to let everybody know that the current rates for my one-on-one intensives will be increasing beginning June 21st, or the summer solstice. If you've been wanting to work together and you want to get in now before my prices do increase, go ahead and go to thatwitchnextdoor.com/services to book your session today. And if you want to get to know me a little bit better, hop on a call, ask some questions before you book, I am always happy to do so. You can either send me an email or a message, or we can jump on a phone call together, and I am happy to answer any questions that you have. And as always, now and after I increase my rates, payment options and payment plans will be available and flexible. Thank you so much for your incredible support and energy here in our neighborhood. Have a magical day.